Wave, Sean! Wave! What's up, Sean? Woohoo! Wave, wave. There we go. Let's get Tim. Tim's gonna ask to join. View request. Go live. Hey, hey, Sabrina! How are you? Should have Tim on here in a bit. Just waiting, setting up. Tim Storey! Woo! How are you, my man?
You got the memo. Wear white.
Wear white. I knew it. I'm like, I gotta back up here. I'm like, I got Tim. Tim, how are you? How's everything going?
I'm doing super good. I'm enjoying my life. I went to a salsa club last night that you would have enjoyed.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, he's like a Mark Anthony type,
Yeah.
and he sings in a Latin band in Beverly Hills on Wednesday nights sometimes.
Okay.
I don't dance salsa,
Yep.
but that place was on fire.
So you you dance salsa?
No, I do
Good.
not dance salsa.
Oh, you don't dance. Oh boy.
No, but it was on fire. So that was last night, and it's nice to get out and about and see people like enjoying themselves.
Yes. Okay. Well, we're gonna kick off, Tim, man. I got you. I'm so stoked. First of all, though, before I get into everything, what'd you have for breakfast this morning, my friend?
Today I went off my usual schedule,
Yeah.
and I ate eggs. Usually I'm like oatmeal, probably 5 to 6 days a week.
I love that. I love that. All right, we're going to kick into this. Everybody, listen, I have promoted this event. Tim Storey is an absolute legend. I want to welcome you to the live edition of the Rhino Show podcast, the place for safe space for unsafe conversations and where you upgrade your life personally and professionally. Tim, I am sitting with a master who literally has made his whole life's body of work to upgrade people's lives on all fronts. Tim Storey is a speaker, a celebrity life coach, co-signed by people like Oprah, Kanye. The list goes on and on. Tim, you're a friend of the show. This is the third time I've sat down and chatted with you. First of all, I want to say welcome back to the show, but I also want to say welcome home, my friend. Your eyebrows look amazing.
I just got them done last week.
I love that. Listen, Tim, go ahead. Oh, my God. Okay, yeah, the hands are good, too. Listen, we are just coming out of a pandemic, still not fully out. You talk a lot about being undone. You have a new book out called The Miracle Mentality, which we'll get into that in a little bit. What would you say to people who right now are starting to see a little bit of sun at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, but we're grieving? People have lost their jobs, financially ruined. People have passed away. And as you know from speaking to me, I always take a very positive approach. But I want to use this live today to give the most amount of value to people who are joining us. So let's talk about the miracle mentality and what people can do immediately to really get their spirits in a better place of essence.
No, I'm glad that you're taking it here because life is very seasonal.
Yeah.
And there's a time to be silent and a time to speak, Ecclesiastes says. And the season of silence is not always something that we want to order from life's menu. A season of silence could be when someone goes through a divorce. A season of silence could be an illness somebody gets. A season of silence came at all of us at one time, which pandemic. Global pandemic that had people wearing masks from around the world, shutting down restaurants, shutting down schools, challenging parents to now they had to learn to Zoom with their kids and all had to adjust. Okay.
Yep.
So when you're hit by what I call a life interruption, a interruption means a disturbance. It means many times an interception, and you understand this because football.
Of course.
Then you're marching down the field, and all of a sudden the quarterback throws the ball. The defense intercepts it and goes the other way. That a lot of people that are watching right now feel about the last year and so many months is stuff got intercepted. the other way.
Mm. Mm.
So there are steps to get out of that. But what do you think about what I'm saying so far?
I love what you're saying so far. I mean, you know what? You talk a lot about knowing when to call an audible in your life. And for people who aren't familiar with football terminology, you know, an audible, if you're a quarterback and you're getting behind that big center's butt and you're ready to snap that ball, but you're looking at the field and you're saying, uh-oh, this defense is looking a little dangerous. We need to pivot and move. And people who do very well in life, such as yourself, you've made a consistent effort and literally kind of made perfection on knowing when to pivot, knowing who you're speaking to, understanding when a problem comes. You know, Tim, I always like to say a problem is an opportunity that's really disguised and masked as frustration. So people who really are able to manage problems in such a high level tend to do well. And, you know, what you're saying to me is huge. So right now, what you're saying is learn how to call audibles.
Yeah, 100%. And I love what you said even about frustration. So I feel that the frustration that we have felt, the fear that we have felt, can actually be something that grows us if we allow. And so you can get frustrated enough to say, I'm going to do something about it.
Absolutely.
Fearful enough to say, I'm not going to let fear grip me anymore. And how do I do that, Tim Storey? Number one, you have to become awake. Number two, you take inventory. And number three, let's go there today. You got to partner with the right people. So when you Tim Storey like being really good at adjusting, you're right.
Absolutely.
People don't know though. I mean, I've got the best therapists in the world that have worked with my life. Like my therapist was Dr. Helen Mendez, who taught at USC, African-American lady. She's now in heaven. But I used to say this while she was on earth because I didn't want to make it known that she was my therapist. But she worked with me for 17 years. So imagine that if a crisis hit me, that I had that kind of a sounding board. It is a legend in dealing with crisis. So I never let myself get isolated. I always have people around me that are not necessarily smarter than me, but they have a different perspective than me.
So I want everybody to kind of pause there for a second. One of the best life coaches in the world, to some of the best people, has a coach, has a therapist, has a support system, has that system that's pouring back into you. You know, there's a lot of stigma still around going to therapy and talking to somebody. And, you know, Tim, you and I have chatted, and I said, hey, you know, when my mom passed when I was 13, I bottled that up for 7-8 years, let that go all the way till I was 21, kind of like a little time cooker. And then I had this lady named Susan. She changed my life. I went in there, I sat down on the chair. I said, Susan, this is what's wrong with me. I got issues, this and that. She said, listen, man, you got an overactive imagination. Go read this book called The Four Horsemen Theory, and you're going to be straight. And I remember her to this day. Tim, you are the messiah in, you know, bringing in relationships, knowing which relationships to bring in. You talk a lot about the levels to relationship. You talk about the casual, the intimate, and the green room. Could you speak to people who are joining us today about that?
Yeah, and thank you for remembering that. And to say this, I'm glad that a Susan came into your life, either a Susan or a David, whoever name that would be male or female. But I believe, like in your life, that's one reason you're doing as well as you are, and why life is propelling you the way it's propelling you, because it is. I was snooping on you today. So probably 3 days ago, I was looking at a lot of your Instagram stuff. I thought, man, you're on fire. Liking what you're saying. People are here that they love your energy. I mean, you're a boss. So I just wanted to give you props in front of everybody.
But I appreciate you, man.
What happens is that we have used up a lot of energy in our lifetime that we did not need to use up. Part of that is we partnered with the wrong people. And in getting older and wiser, I've realized that I need to partner with people that have a similar mindset.
Mm. Mm.
Similar mindset, similar motives. Now, I can be friends with somebody at the casual level,
Of course.
no matter what their motives are and their mindset.
Of course.
But if I bring them into the intimate level and their mindset and motives are different than me, it's going to take me off my path if I'm not careful.
Mm.
And if it doesn't take me off my path, it is going to wear me out.
Mm.
What they say is going to wear me out. How they act is going to wear me out. How they do other people.
Mm.
Like, for instance, at this salsa club that I was at last night, a guy just bumps me. He just hits me. And he goes, dude. Well, what had happened is he had been drinking a lot, and bless his heart. So I turned around and I said, oh, no problem. And he goes, you bumped into me. I said, okay, which I really didn't. But it's all good. He goes, come on, bring it in. And he hugs me. Okay.
Mm.
Now, my point in saying that is that I was just in this flow.
Mm.
He came and just bumped me.
Mm.
This is what's happening to people that are watching.
Mm.
So you bring the wrong people into the intimate place and they're bumping you.
Of course.
They're bumping you. How powerful.
Of course. Mm.
And they're not even taking responsibility. They're just
Mm.
So you have the casual, you have the intimate, but the third level, as you said, is what I call the green room.
Mm.
Weird, because now there's a new app called So anyway, so what happened is that in the green room, when me and you go speak at a conference, as you know, they'll say to us like, hey, green room, and this is what we have in there, like as far as food or whatever, and you can bring in whoever you want.
Mm.
Okay, but don't forget, a green room only has so much space,
Mm-hmm.
and a green room is you can bring in whoever you want.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the question is to all you people that are watching, who's in your green room?
This is so fundamental. I mean, I've had so many conversations. Okay, for instance, I was talking to a lady, a really bright lady yesterday. She's a lawyer here in Canada, out of Toronto. And I was so shocked when I actually talked to her because what I seen her post online, pictures are nice, content's great, just very, very intellectual. So I got on a call with her, and immediately she told me all the whys that she can't progress in her career as a minority. She said, hey, Ryan, I'm putting out, I have my own practice, but I want to get into corporate, but I'm having a hard time getting into corporate. And so I told her, she said, what's your biggest piece of advice? I said, content. Content is the unlock. I said, show the world your magic, and trust me, you won't have to go to them. They're going to find you. And I said to her, listen, you're an amazing person. Let's stop focusing on the why this. Let's go to the hows and start monstering the do's. I said, I promise you that things will start shaping, because I said, your audience is out there, but if you don't put yourself out there, how the heck do they find you? So Mr. Miracle Mentality himself, baby oiled, nice eyebrows, Tim Storey. Here's my question for you. I'm a brand guy. Branding, essentially, at the simplest form, the definition of it is a person or organization's gut feeling towards you, meaning the content you put out. What did we think about Tim Storey? Tim Storey is a brand. How can we take Miracle Mentality and incorporate that into our brand? Because I like what you said about Miracle Mentality. You said, hey, this is a movement. This isn't just a book. This is a movement, which I see you everywhere. Dallas in big trucks. I mean, you're everywhere. How can we wrap that into a brand? And how have you cultivated such a crazy good brand? But Tim, let me tell you this. In the last, I want to say 12 to 18 months, you've doubled down on what you're doing, my friend. You know that.
Yeah, but that's just because I made time to do it. Because a lot of what I was doing before was one-on-one coaching and speaking and building my brand to a scale of 1 to 10 to maybe about a 6. But then I decided, with the mentorship of people like Quincy Jones, to take my brand to a 10.
Yes.
What we've done. So like the miracle mentality, as you said, is a movement. So if you American Airlines, you're going to read the American Way magazine, and there's articles by Tim Storey every single month. If you travel on United, there's articles by Tim Storey every month. If you travel 90 airports of the world, there I am in screens all over the world, dialoguing 2-3. I'm taping today for a new app that we are putting in, let's say, hundreds of thousands of dollars into, that has to do with mental health. And so you're going to see me in that space in a huge way. The miracle mentality into prison reform. I'm about to drop new material. My friend John Paul DeJora, play ball from Paul Mitchell. I brought those two guys in to work with prison reform. We're dropping all our material into the libraries of prisons to miracle mentality for people that are incarcerated. So airports, to the prisons, to the airplanes, and now I am in over 1 million hotel rooms every day talking just like this. Over 1 million through a group TV. So the miracle mentality is a 20-year plan for me. Just like comeback. I started the comeback 20 years ago, and it was a 20-year plan. It landed in the seat of Oprah. She decided to do a special with me and blew me through the stratosphere.
I love that.
Same for me with miracle mentality.
I love that. I love what you're doing. One of the things I love about you though is it's so interesting. The first time I talked to you, there was something that resonated. But it was the fact that you always refer to yourself still as little Timmy from Compton.
Yeah.
And you talk a lot about your childhood and everything like that. But the one thing I love about what you do is that you've had uber success in your life at a young age too, and carrying it all the way through. But you managed to maintain that childlike. I mean, you look at your stories and you're dancing and you're coming around and you're doing the samba and the bachata and the mañana, and then Smokey Robinson comes on and boom, jazz starts going back into your brain and Tim Storey's back and alive. But what I think is so amazing is out of all the things that you've been through in your life, you've managed to maintain that childlike spirit, which to me is so beautiful because that's where you get your curiosity from. I think one of your biggest superpowers, Tim, is when I talk to you or when I, finish talking to you, is he's so curious. So you ask a lot more questions than you talk. You listen a lot more than you talk, which that's unbeknownst to a lot of people because they think, because you're a masterful speaker, but you listen a lot more than you talk. Can you talk about, and I love when we chatted on our show about this, was the fact that you said, Ryan, I manually every single day do these little pattern interrupts to make sure that little Timmy is always in full effect. Could you talk to everybody here how they can do that and why it's so powerful?
So I'll tell you, that's one reason I vibe with you so much, because you get it. It takes one to know one.
Yep.
And when we are living in the seriousness of life and things that go on, which I'll call the battleground.
Yep.
You have to make sure that you make time for places of innocence. A lot of us have had innocence knocked out of us, whether it be relationships, and let me go there again, even illness, because I know a lot of people that deal with arthritis but they don't tell anybody, or they have Lyme disease and they don't tell anybody, but dealing with stuff. Okay, so what I do, as you said earlier, I trigger myself every day. So already this morning I've had amazing calls with people, and it's only 15 Pacific time. I mean, I'm meeting with people who are like moving the earth. Okay. But in the midst of that, I triggered myself and I listened to about 30 minutes of Stevie Wonder today already. Because it's triggering me. It's triggering me.
Yes.
Different songs trigger little Timmy from Compton. And that's why I think I'll always have that strut, because when I look at Smokey Robinson, who, as you know, is like my real friend, my real brother, and we have similarities in the way we look, is that he is in his early 80s and he's in shape. his skin is as good as ours.
Woo, woo.
But he walks. There's like a Detroit strut,
Ooh,
like a
ooh,
Detroit millionaire strut.
ooh, ooh, ooh,
Let anybody take your strut from you.
ooh, ooh. Because here's the thing, and you know this, your vibe really does attract your tribe. It does. Yeah. It really does. That's why I say, Tim, I'm like, listen, people talk about wealth as, hey, you know, I want to make a lot of money. I want to do a lot of things. But listen, there's so many forms of currency. There's soulful currency, vibe currency, monetary currency, relationship currency. I always say, make sure you're depositing all your currencies in a bank account that you actually own.
Okay, so stay there for a minute.
I'm here.
Because you just like got a hand that was better than mine because you just pulled up some good cards.
This was planned, Tim. I did my homework, man. I did my homework.
But your vibe, okay, it attracts and draws your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop there for a second, because how real is that?
Mm.
If you're a sullen person, you're going to get sullen, mopey people.
Mm.
If you're a creative person like a Pharrell Williams, you're going to see him around creatives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're going to get more angry people.
Of course.
If you're racist, you're going to hang out with racists. That's why,
of course,
when they got these Facebook groups, it's not shocking when you see photos of the people that are joining this group. They kind of almost look alike.
It's so true. It's so true. No, it's so true. This is where, when you were saying, though, like, you and I have chatted about this, and I said, Tim, I hate low frequency commentary. You know, I hate small talk. If you start doing the water cooler thing with me, I like what Tim Storey does. That's interesting. Oh, really? Yeah, like, I'm already tuned out. I'm on to the next meeting kind of thing. I am such a, like, even today, the biggest honor Tim Storey can give to Ryan Holtz is your time. This is the commodity you never get back. So when somebody gives me their time, I'm so respectful of it, because it's the one thing that they give that they can't get back. So could you speak to the way Tim Storey navigates all these little mundane conversations that in life take us off our path?
Okay, but do you see how I'm so present with you right now?
Yes.
So I've already done a lot of things today, and we'll do a lot more things later today.
Correct.
But notice how I'm fully present, fully feeling, and fully alive.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you why. One is because I walk in peace. I walk in divine peace. My peace is not even normal. And then the second thing is, I value you. I value you. So I'm coming prepared for you, because I value you. Because, you know, I may be having some great years in the NBA, but you're like the new stars that are coming up in the NBA. Like, that's what they're saying. They're like, who's this dude from the Atlanta Hawks? Guy's lighting stuff up. He scored 50 points last night. Who's the good-looking dude from the Phoenix Suns who's dating Kendall Jenner? That guy's lighting it up. Then you got the kid from Dallas, from another country, the white boy. He's like, yes. You got Grant Cardone, you got Ed Milet, you got Tim Storey, you got Gary Vee, but now we got you. If I'm attentive and I pay attention, then I know who I'm dealing with right now. Okay. So I'm in the moment for you, but I'm in the moment for all these people that are watching, that are taking their time and saying things like, great analogy, or oh my gosh, or on fire, or things like. So every one of you that's watching, what a privilege for us to serve you.
100%. And Tim, I want to interject one quick second, because while we still have people here, at the end of this, I hope everybody stays to the end. There is a surprise, but what we're doing, we bought 50 books of the Miracle Mentality of Tim's book. So all you got to do is go follow Tim, go to my account, comment on the post of Tim and I, the promo for today, and all you got to do is either say, I love Tim's eyebrows, or Tim is the man. And I'm going to literally select 50 people. We're going to send you out a book, and we're going to package it up with some amazing hot sauce. So sorry, Tim, I want to put that in there because that is my thank you for everybody doing the time.
Find you, they're obviously on your Instagram now.
Yep.
So just to make it easy for them so they can get the hot sauce and everything else. So tell them what they do again.
That's it. You just go to @RyanOates1. It's the first post on my grid. Go into the comments, type something, say, hey, I love the live, love Tim, and I'm going to be selecting the first 50 people, and we're shipping you out a nice package from the Team Holtz fam.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that I get my eyebrows threaded.
Because I'm obsessed about it, Tim.
Yeah.
I like eyebrows. I've been doing face masks since I was 13.
Then I was with this classy group of people last night, and the lady said, I heard you take 2 showers a day. I said, every day. I'm a clean freak, but I'm not like so anal that if I was with somebody that I'd have to have everything picked up at all times. But since I was a kid, even though we were lower income, we were not lower class.
Yes. Woohoo!
Man, even though I could not afford Converse, I rocked those other white best I could. I could not afford Levi's. I rocked those other brands from JCPenney's best I could. And so, yes, I love to really manage what I'm supposed to manage.
I love that. And everybody that's listening, please smack the hearts on the bottom right corner of your screen. Show some love. I appreciate it. Tim, I want to talk a lot about, you're talking about relationships, but I want to also talk about the fact that you're reversing. So you're saying, hey, Ryan, I value your time. But somebody who's known for your famous quote and what you believe in it is, work your land, water your seed, get ready for the harvest. Here's what's amazing. Tim's story, as you're going forward, follow me on this, you're taking your backhoe and then you're still like this. Oh, wait a sec. What's coming up behind? And now you're taking your rake and now you're still working your land.
Yes.
I mean, if there's not, you're the most 360-degree human, and maybe because you grew up in Compton and you had to be always watch your 6. No, but you know how to turn it around, man.
100%. So, to me, the work in your land is what's in front of you, and it comes from a proverb in the Bible, Proverbs 12:11, that says, "He who works his land shall have abundance." The word "shall" means definitely. So I buy into that. So I think that Sam Walmart worked his land and he got Walmart. Jeff Bezos worked his land and he got Amazon. Quincy Jones worked his land and he became, Quincy Jones, the boss. Oprah Winfrey worked her land. Well, what's working your land, Tim Storey? You gotta plow the ground. So, like every day I'm hustling.
There we go. I'm coming in hot.
No, every day I'm hustling, but you don't know I'm hustling. Like I don't around anybody's office or like, oh, I'm exhausted. I just met with J-Lo's manager, and now I got to go life coach this person. And now I'm working on I got a new project with Randy Jackson. It's a cartoon. And now, I'm exhausted. Then I got to do Ryan live. No, every day I'm hustling. So plow, plant the right seed. Right seed. What kind of seeds you been planting? Right seed, right harvest. Right seed, right seed, right harvest. Seeds, good seeds, seeds that help people grow. What you make happen for other people, life will make happen for you. You plant, you water, which is repetition, and then increase starts coming. All of a sudden, the harvest starts coming. You're like, whoa, Steve Harvey's people just called me. They want me to go on a 20-city tour. Whoa, Oprah wants me to be in her new book. Come on, people. Every day.
I think a gentleman by the name of Mark, you do some coaching for him, but he asked me a great question, I actually want to ask you the question because I love when somebody asks me a great question. So I'm going to give him props to the question because it's his question. But he said, I'm going to ask you, Tim, you know, if whatever city you're in, you live in, LA, where do you think in that city is the most untapped potential? If you're to choose like a zip code or kind of do like a little geographic map, where would you say is the most untapped potential?
90210, Beverly Hills.
Untapped potential.
Untapped, because what happens is that I lived there forever in two great houses, is that a lot of people, once they get there, they start to move into a mundane place.
Ooh.
Because that's been my culture for 30 years.
Wow.
I know Beverly Hills like the back of my hand. That's where I've been the last 2 days. That's where I live forever.
Mm.
It's easy to get there and then say, we got there.
Mm.
And now, what time is so-and-so coming to clean the house? What time's the pool guy coming? Make sure that reservation's made at Mastro's.
Mm.
What happens is they lose the grit.
Ooh.
See, you got to stay clean to keep the grit.
Oof. Woof.
You got to stay
there we go.
pain to keep the grit.
There we go.
90210, that's why I go in there and I stir them up. I stir them up.
Ooh.
I back up. And I've had try and say, like, but look what I've done. I said, but look what's left.
Oh.
See, that's what, like in a Lionel Richie. Like Lionel's and Lionel's always been cool with me. But he's smart enough to realize I was in the Commodores. That was cool. Then I was Lionel Richie dancing on this. Before I was 3 times a lady. Watch. Like, I'm still Lionel. I got beads on. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And then he ends up on American Idol. He ends up on American Idol. And a whole generation knows him, not from the Commodores.
Yes.
It's good.
Right? I haven't Googled that because that could be my quota, authentic, because I haven't seen it from anybody else, but I wrote this a long time ago.
I've never seen it. So you got to Google it after this.
Of course. Of course. Stay humble, but keep hungry, because this is what you've managed to do. This is why I always feel like people, you know what I think is more dangerous and more toxic for people? If somebody says, hey, Ryan, a lot of success or a little bit of success? I always say a little bit of success, because some people, when they get just a sliver of it,
yes,
not even ready for it, completely go off the rails, gone, right? Yes. So you are just this fabric that you're a palm tree, man. You bend, but you never break.
But you're blowing up scripture. That's Psalm 90.
Yes. There you go.
Will flourish like a palm tree. And a palm tree does 3 things. It's deep into the ground. 3 attributes that are interesting. Goes deep, deep into the ground. Secondly, has elasticity in the root.
Yeah.
So as you know, 150-mile winds could hit Miami, and they'll bend. Palm tree hits the floor, back from up, flow. Come back. The third thing palm tree does is it brings shade.
Yeah.
So I was with these people last night, and they said, man, like, you make me feel better. When I leave you, I feel better, because a palm tree brings shade. Like, the world is scorching. It's coming at you from every area. Don't you want to be a person that brings shade to people?
100%. 100%. Tim, I want to talk about something that I think is so important. When we did our last episode, there was 2 parts of it that repeatedly people were sending messages, emails, all of it, just saying, wow, this is great. Because I took you down a lane that was, you have that ability to go so high level with your thoughts and thinking. And I always think about the person that's just beginning sometimes. Yes. And I say, like, how can I be of service to the person that's just starting out? So you talked a lot about you gave an example of a 22-year-old kid and it says, hey, Tim, I'm having a hard time right now. I just can't find my lane. I can't find my career. My life seems like it's a mess. I was told to go to school. Didn't even like what I took in university. Didn't even know who the hell I was at 18. This is another subject. I think it's absolutely crazy, and you could disagree with me, but I think it's crazy to expect a 17 to 18-year-old kid to know what they want to do for the rest of their life. That is such a jacked philosophy because,
terrible.
yeah, so and then here's the thing. If you don't come from a wealthy family, you're taking on a student loan, you get your degree, and it's like, oh, congratulations, here's your $50,000 worth of debt, and there's your piece of paper. And so many of these people don't even work in the profession that they went and studied for. So my question to you is, I'm 22 years old, and I'm saying to myself, oh, I'm lost right now. I'm unfolding, but I'm thinking of folding.
Yes. Okay, so you're using a Tim Storey term. Many people want to fold, like folding the cards in poker. But don't fold because you're still unfolding. So the unfolding is taking place. Now, there's two ways we make decisions. One is we decide. Second is we discover. Parents are putting too much pressure on their kids to decide when they are not mentally prepared to make those big decisions, like what is your major, as you're saying. Some can do it, but some cannot. What I like to do is just get them in the program, so they're in the program of college, and maybe they have an undeclared major for the first year. And then they start to find out, hey, I got an appetite towards this. I have a desire towards this. Pay attention to your appetite and your desires. Do you know how powerful?
Yes. Huge. Yes. Huge.
Appetite and my desire is to help hurting people. I'm a humanitarian as well as a business person.
Of course.
But I love helping people, but that unfolded. It started my senior year of high school. Then I decided to go to seminary because I wanted to be, as you know, the hip Mother Teresa. And that's what turned out. And so I didn't just make the decision. I found it in the discovery. Allowing time to discover and unfold.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I want to get to a couple questions because we got questions rolling in here.
Yeah,
Stefan Taylor.
38 my time. I have till 11:50 my time.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tim. Stefan Taylor says, how do you help people move from living an almost life to an utmost life?
Great question. So my statement is people live in three dimensions: almost, most, and utmost. Almost means not quite, nearly. I almost got happy. I almost got in shape. And don't put yourself down because a lot of us almost stuff. But most means you got a ceiling. Like, watch. If I go here, my head's out. If I go here.
Yes. It's the low. Yeah.
So there's a ceiling here on this Instagram Live. Watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you go up and then down.
Some of you, that was
ceiling.
Good. Some of you have a low ceiling because of what your mentors and tutors have taught you, whether it's your parents or religious or haters, and you let the low ceiling confine you and restrict you. So powerful. Now you're stuck in a most life, and you think you're living the most, but whose most is it? The most that your dad told you to do, the most that your mother manipulated you into, the most that your ex broke you down into?
Powerful.
Breaking this. You see my hand just go, my fist just go out?
Boom. Absolute boom.
I break ceilings. That's what I do.
I love that.
I'm a disruptor. Oh, black people can't go there. I did. Black people can't do this. I did. You're not flow with that crowd. I did in 75 countries of the world and owned the space, not just got in the room. I owned the space. I'm stirring you up, huh?
Oh man, I'm just listening, man. It's beautiful.
Have no ceiling.
There's
How
no
do you have
ceiling.
a ceiling when an utmost God did not create an almost child?
The moment people figure out that the only person or thing or entity or whatever the heck you're doing, the only thing that you're really competing against with is right here and right here,
No doubt.
stuff's gonna get a
The
lot more magical.
mindset. So the book is The Miracle Mentality, as you're about to get to. So I wrote a book called The Miracle Mentality. It's a lot of work, guys. You know, people want books and they want to throw them out. And, ooh, I wrote it in 60 days. Congratulations. I wrote mine in 2 years with a Princeton professor breathing into me. He don't play, this guy.
No.
He's like, I don't like that. Write it different.
Yes.
I don't like to do it this way. And then signing a big book deal with HarperCollins, Harper Horizon. So you got to come through for them. But, you know, the Miracle Mentality, the reason it's become such a movement and the reason it's selling so many books, as you've heard the rumor, is true, where we sold thousands of books on Clubhouse in one night.
Wow, I see. I was in that room.
I mean,
Woo! Amazing.
1,000 books. One person bought 2,500 books at one time.
I know.
It's a movement.
It's a movement.
So what happens is that with the miracle mentality, when you start to think unusual, uncommon, not regular, not normal, not the status quo, a miracle mentality becomes your reality.
100%.
Yes, I pitched it to Kanye. We were in his backyard, and he was on his computer. And I said, I got a song for us. Because he said, let's write 2 songs. And I said, Miracle Mentality. That's my reality. And he's like I like that. I like that. The miracle mentality is our reality.
Oh, Tim Storey. Oh my goodness. Listen, I want everybody to give some hearts for Tim. Tim, I'm going to, anybody direct message me. I'm going to send a book. I'm going to link everything to a book. We're going to repurpose this content. Tim, my last question to you is always the same, but it's, you know, what can I do for you? What can the people here do for you? And before I get into that, I want to thank everybody who's came to the live. You are amazing. As you know, I will be DMing you, talking to you, just going all out. But Tim, take it away. What can I do for you and what can we do for you? Okay,
what you could do for me is keep being my friend. Same answer I gave you last time.
I sent you a text, Tim, and I said it was random. I sent you 2. One was on my birthday, but the other one was, hey, Tim, I just want to actually ask how you're doing.
Hey, Ryan, send me a text after this and say your whole name because I changed phones.
Oh, did you? Okay.
What happened is that I didn't get all my contacts changed over because I didn't know how to do it. And so
that makes sense.
My best friends have been texting me, and I don't know who it is.
It's all good. No worries. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
But for those that don't have my number, it's 555. So y'all call me or text me. 555-5555. So what they can do for me is follow you. So keep following Ryan, and let's build up his brand even more. But let's build it up. Let's support him. Let's get behind him. He's straight out of Canada, yo.
Straight out of Canada. Straight out of Canada.
Snoop Dogg is from LB. And you are straight out of Canada.
Listen, Tim, Snoop, when he got his star on the thing, I love his speech because I'm like, Tim needs to do this. He's like, listen, I want to thank everybody, but I want to thank me for showing up. I want to thank me for doing the hard work. Like, I was just like, this is so Snoop Dogg, you know? I'm like, no, finally somebody said it. No, I'm like, good.
So let's back Ryan up. He is representing that leaf that's on that beautiful red flag, Canada. Oh, Canada is one of my favorite national anthems in the world, and I know a lot of them. But I love Oh Canada, that song.
I'm telling you right now, Tim, because this is in my thought, and we'll talk about it at a later date. But if you don't come to Canada, it's a while. Like I got a little fireside little mini conference thing, because I'm like, I'm gonna have to bring you to Canada myself, because I'm like, no, you gotta come and get the VIP tour, man, and make the people feel good.
Tell us what city you're in again.
I'm just outside of Vancouver, which is on the West Coast. They call Vancouver kind of the Canadian Hollywood, right? So I'm just above you.
I've been up there because, you know, movie stars are up there, and they film movies and TV shows and Netflix shows, etc. I love Canada. So you should put something together. I would come.
It's coming, my friend. Without further ado, everybody, please follow Tim. Check out his book called The Miracle Mentality. And remember, curiosity should always be your mandate. And please live your full self on purpose. Tim, thank you so much, my friend. You are amazing. Applauso.
Life
Take
is
care,
good.
brother. All right. Ciao, guys.